The first 20 minutes of the podcast had some audio issues, and I lost the audio for Morning Darkness and Gwen during that time. But don't worry, you'll hear them right after that.
Welcome to Podheim, Jirok's Valheim podcast. Let's give him the business.
Hey, everybody. Today is January 17th, 2024. I'm your host, Josep the Viking, and joining me today are my fellow Vikings, Gwen the Shield Maiden. We also have Shield Maiden, Morning Darkness. And we also have joining us, real life Viking Vaste. Look at that.
Hello. I do have colors on the back.
Good to see you actually animated. Yeah. I was going to have to animate that still image of you if you didn't come on camera with us at some point, and then I'd make you do all kinds of funny stuff.
Maybe in the future.
Yes. And I see you've got a little meta thing going on here. We're recording the podcast. You've also got the podcast in the background, like an old episode playing on your computer.
There's a spoiler in the back, so be careful.
Yeah, absolutely. And so before we get into everything, of course, I just want to give a quick promotion to my sponsors, G-Portal. Save 10% if you need a server, Valheim or any other game. And there's a new game coming out called Enshrouded, and you're going to need servers for that. I'll be running a server for it. We're going to talk more about that later. And of course, if you like Viking stuff, JirokTheViking.com/Grimfrost. They actually produce some of Valheim's gear. So if you order like a t-shirt or something from Valheim, you'll see the Grimfrost tag on the collar because they are the ones who supply some of their gear. And then, of course, if you need a new computer, you got Zydex computers. I got a new, I don't have a new computer, but my computer a couple of years old, but it's been wonderful. But I am going to be upgrading since all the new video cards that sold since the holidays. Have you guys seen this? All the new video cards that sold in the holidays, they were doing discounts on everything. But after the holidays now, in January and February, they're releasing the next generation of cards, right? After the old ones sold during the holidays. As a matter of fact, today, the brand new RTX 4070 Super released, and it's probably the one I'm going to buy. I'm going to wait to see if the TI Super, the 4070 Ti Super, and the 4080 Super, what the price to performance is. But I mean, it starts getting expensive. The 4070 Super is $600, and the 4080 Super is supposed to be $1,000. So I don't know if I want to spend that much on a video card, but I'm still running a 2070 Super, so it will be a good upgrade for me. So I'm excited for this month for technology. But yeah, my light here, Gwen, let me show you my new hat accessory here. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Well, so I'll get into what I've been up to since before I jump to what you guys have been up to, because it relates to this. It's obviously, this is a headlamp. I had an old headlamp. It required batteries and it wasn't very bright. And I was like, I got to replace the batteries again. Screw it. I'm just going to order a brand new headlight that you recharge with USB. So, I can just recharge it and they're brighter, and they, just plug it in when it goes out. I don't have to keep creating dead batteries. But the reason why I needed a headlamp is because I've been remodeling my garage. So my house was built in the 50s, and every year, especially during like the winter and the spring and the fall, when the cooler months of the year, because the summer it's just too hot to work on some things. But during these times of the year, I like to pick a project around the house. So, redo my front yard, redo my backyard, build a shed out on the back, do some project around the house, some big project. And this year's project is to renovate my garage, one of the last things to renovate. So this was the one far side wall of my garage here. And you can see the previous owners of the house, we bought it back in 2008, and I've kind of neglected the garage. But they just put up random plywood boards and even some green painted board from something on this wall. You can see the attic there is not finished. Nothing is just wide open. So the last 2 weeks, you haven't seen many other videos from me being produced because I'm working on this, and I do have a few people coming over to help me with things. And I'm rewiring everything. I rewired this whole wall. I installed 4 outlets, a security motion light on the outside, put some junction boxes and things. Electrical stuff's not too hard to do, but this is what it looks like. I moved everything to the other side of the garage, put up plastic to minimize dust. And then here's all the boards removed, which took a while. So we have a pile still out on my driveway of old boards. And we have all insulation installed, which takes a little while to cut in place. And then we're putting in drywall. And actually we've gone a lot further than this. The drywall goes all the way up now and in the corners and stuff. And here's just a close-up of some of the electrical work that I did. They only had one outlet. They didn't even have an outlet on that wall. It was outside the garage, so if you're outside and you want to plug in. But I wanted a whole bunch of outlets on the garage. Plus, I wanted a new garage door opener. And all these wires you see here, I put them behind the wall, but I needed an outlet there to plug the new garage door opener into, so I installed an extra outlet. So it's going to look really nice when it's all done. I'll eventually take a picture of that and show it. But I love, there's this video, lots of videos from Arnold Schwarzenegger. He has his own YouTube channel, and he addresses a lot of things going on and around the world now, especially since he was in politics and stuff. But one of the things that he always says, and I just really, truly believe it, it's like, just try to find a way to be useful in life, right? You get up each day and, one of the ways to, battle the stresses of life and whatnot is to get up and just try to do something that, moves your life forward, or maybe helps others, or, whether they be friends, families, or strangers. One of the things I love doing is, and my brother comes over and he helps me with this, my younger brother. But is like pick a project around the house to do, right? Like I work from home, I'm making that YouTube money, little tiny bit. But I have a lot of free time if I don't make videos all the time, and it's, be useful. So gives me something to look forward to. As a matter of fact, my beard's a little frizzy today. I don't know. You can't really tell. But I'm still wearing my dirty pants and my dirty shoes right now because I was working on the garage all morning, just threw this t-shirt on and my hat and my magic wave at the light that turns on. Technology. And so as soon as we finish here, I will just peel this shirt off, put my old dirty shirt on, and go back out and continue. So that's sort of one of my big projects for this year. Sick twice in December, shingle shot made me sick too, and still having fun and doing things. But what about you, Vaste? What have you been up to? I see you've got a computer there in the background. Is that new? Is that the computer that you game with?
For the Podheim is new.
For Podheim,
because I haven't been on camera since I moved. I was living on my parents' house. Now I'm on my own apartment. Mm-hmm. And between those things, I got a new computer because I was in a gaming laptop, that it was kind of outdated for the new games. Not Viking. Viking was running okay, but it was the moment. It was the moment, so I went and assembled a new computer.
Nice.
With the help of a friend.
Yeah.
I try to minimize the RGB to the minimum, but it's impossible now.
Now everything has lights on it.
Everything. Yeah.
Unless you get a closed case that has no window, right?
True, but I got the case, a really good case, and so it has the open side.
Yeah.
I got a good thing, so Well, Vasta,
you sent me some pictures. Let me pull up one of them now. Let's talk about this. So this is a pretty cool picture. What are we looking at here?
Yeah. This is actually me. Or technically, the representation of me as a DM.
Well,
I say in previous Podheim that I was starting to play DMD,
Yeah.
and the guy that was being the DM for us commented a few times that he wanted to play at some point, and I said, okay, I will set it up a one shot and try to DM myself, because I know the rules as good as he knows them. So I was like the one that could do it.
Like an astrological chart or something, right? But
yeah, it has all of these images that I sent to show are made with AI. The idea for this image was a cat person being the DM. Not Tabaxi, because I don't have a Tabaxi character. Because of my name, they usually sometimes as a show call me Miauri. In Spanish, meow is the sound we use for the cat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it comes more from the cat, and it looks like a Tabaxi because they were trying to do the art style. But there's a Tabaxi later on in the pictures.
Yeah. Well, let's jump to this next picture, which is one of the favorites of the ones you sent me. It's basically like a female elf with reddish orange hair, wearing sort of plate and other types of armor, with big armor, with like a little gnome or something that she's giving like a piggyback ride. It's so adorable. Yeah. I love this image.
This is one of the funniest moments of the one shot because they started on late evening, so they went into the night. And one of the characters is an old halfling, which is slow and can't see anything, and they are in the forest. So they copy one of the things we did in the other party. Me being the warrior, I was carrying around one of the smaller characters because it was just small and I was big and strong. It's the same idea. The warrior, redheaded elf, is carrying on the old halfling that can see in the dark.
That's, there's so much personality in this. And you said this was generated with the Bing's image generator. Is that correct?
Yeah, Microsoft AI.
There's so much personality in here besides just the art style being really beautiful. It's not quite photorealistic, but it's very it's almost photorealistic with a little slight style to it. But most of the I could see putting this on my wall. Like, this is such an awesome looking picture with the personality great. And the warrior female elf carrying this little gnome, and his like look on his face where his hands on her shoulder, like he needs her to carry him, and he's looking off into the I don't know. There's just so much to it there. If you're just listening to this podcast, you need to go watch the video version on YouTube, because this is amazing picture. So let's see what else we got here, Vaste.
This is a Tabaxi character, a rogue character.
Well, yeah. So for the listeners, this is a picture of a swashbuckling cat.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's got like a cloak and stuff on, and a dagger on his belt, and this is very like digital painting style, but it's super cool. I love it.
It based in a anime character from Log Horizon, Nyanta-san.
Yeah.
Is almost the same.
So Vaste, is this like a character or an NPC that appears in your game? This is a
player character.
Oh, a player is... this is a representation of a player.
Yeah, the guy that did most of the images has this character. So the actual goal was to get this character right. Okay.
Yeah, that's very cool. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so is this supposed to be the same redheaded? Same redheaded. Is she a warrior or some other class?
Yeah, she's a warrior, and because of the one shot, we started at a higher level. I give them some random magic item that had to do with the thematic we were running, and because I had to rush her character, she wasn't ready for the session. It got basic warrior, and I say, okay, I need to get a sword, and I found a dragon flaming sword So she has the flaming sword on her hand and a dragon in the back, which AI just wanted the dragon, and the picture was so cool that
that's the thing. So
we need this one.
I've generated lots of AI images, and the visual that they create with the lighting and the composition is so pretty. Like this one, it's a beautiful image, but you can see a lot of technical errors. Like the dragon, it looks like it has 3 wings, 2 on the left and 1 on the right, and then the female warrior's holding a flaming sword in her hair. But let's see, you have one more image here, Vaste. But was this like a battle scene in your game, Vaste, between somebody and a minotaur?
That's supposed to be the old halfling that it was shown earlier in the other picture. He's a monk, and the first encounter was with the minotaur. Only one minotaur. There was nothing else them and the minotaur, but AI and their things. And he's a monk, so he has no other option to or get close or do nothing. And it was so funny because he should be really small and got into the fight, and I was saying like, yeah, you are really close to the minotaur. It's almost like you are under him. And then a second later, the elf with the flaming sword has burned both of them because of the flaming attack. And he was like, do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I was good.
Both of them show they became like the main part in this session that it ended up being not a one shot, but it will take a lot longer.
I was going to try to AI out those extra cows, but my windows are all messed up, so I can't find the tool at the moment. Oh, well. And I still have my holiday Valheim picture as my desktop background because it looks so cool. I just left it up.
Yeah.
Well, very cool, Vaste. So how many times have you played D&D in the last month then?
I think 2 or 3 times, more or less. It was like quite difficult to get all together to play. But we actually did the session of this one that was the one we wanted to do, so the other DM could try and play.
Yeah.
And maybe this weekend I will get another session. Who knows?
Cool. Well, MD, you must be busy over the last month with your little one running around, and you got the holidays and everything. And then, of course, you've got your streaming channel and your new chair that you're sitting in, the space chair. That I think you're sitting up now, right? But doesn't it sort of rotate where you can almost lay back and your monitors rotate in front of you so they kind of go up as you rotate back? Yeah. Slowly drifting around, right? Yeah, like now we can see the floor, like your carpet or whatever in the background, and your computer's slowly disappearing. It's floating through the space station. Look at that setup. That is awesome. So you must have had to rearrange your room now for this, like, okay, that's all got to go. The chair goes here. Oh, wow. So you could have 5 monitors with this setup? Oh, good grief. That looks awesome already, too. This is kind of how it looks in front of me, because I have 3 monitors also. Yeah, to go from a laptop to a desktop and 3 monitors is huge. Yeah, well, that's awesome. So glad that you could get this setup working. But Gwen,
Yes.
You moved to a cave apparently because it's very dark in that room. You're not in the same place you were before.
Yeah, so podcast. Like a little meta moment for those who are watching the podcast on video, like down there in Vaste's screen, as you can see, I'm in a different room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And there's also Wilson. You can see Wilson.
Exactly. Yeah, Wilson is there. He's somewhere in one of the gazillion boxes that I haven't unpacked yet. But yeah, basically the biggest... Yeah, the biggest thing for me the past month, I guess, has been that I moved houses. So I'm not fully unpacked yet, but I'm getting there. With the holidays in between and stuff, it's taking me a little while to actually properly move in. But it's a dark room, but also I've set it up in the way that behind me is dark enough that you can't see the absolute mess that is there, because I haven't sorted this room yet. I've sorted my gaming setup and stuff. Like that was one of the first things that I made sure I had
first, right?
Yeah, before I even had a bed or anything, I was like, I need to have the gaming setup. So did
that because on the floor, gaming first.
Oh, I slept on the floor. Yes, well, not quite. I had like my little camping gear from when I do shows and stuff. But yeah, mostly because I didn't want to stop streaming entirely for the entire duration of me moving, so I had to kind of like strategically set things up. I think I had like maybe a week where I didn't stream in between, so I moved. I'm still kind of working on arranging everything, so you'll see more exciting stuff in the background once I finish my my little projects and unpacking and all of that. But for now, I'm keeping it in the darkness. So yeah, it kind of looks like I'm in a cave. It's a bit depressing, maybe, for the time being. But yeah, more exciting backgrounds to come, because the house I moved in is 500 years old, and so the what you might see there in the darkness, the cool looking beams, those are all over the house, and it's a really cool house. But yeah, it's also very cold because it's old, and so I'm wearing. I've.
Oh, we lost your audio on Gwen. Yeah, we lost Gwen's audio all of a sudden.
Oh no! Nope.
She was excited that the microphone was so low.
Yeah. Well. While she troubleshoots that, once we hear her again, we'll jump back. So actually, I have something that I was going to share earlier. I'll share it now while she's getting that set up. But I have, my merch store, jiroktheviking.com/merch. I have a cute new design. I was messing around with the AI image generators, and I still had to do a ton of work to get this image to work. But I have what I call the mini Viking. Give him the business.
Cute.
Isn't he so cute?
Yeah.
So of course this had horns. There was all this background stuff I had to remove. He was actually holding his axe backwards, like hitting himself in the head.
The axe might be a bit too big for him. That's why. Yeah.
And of course it was different colors and all this stuff. And I added the text, and actually I might have, the image here to show. Let's see if I can pull that up here real quick while we're waiting. Oh, yep. It's right here. Okay. So this is the image that it generated initially. Because I wanted a St. Patrick's Day version, because St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner, right? Like it's coming up, and so you got to get designs up early. So it did this. I had to remove all the background. I had to remove the horns. I had to flip the axe, I chopped it and photoshopped it around and cleaned it up. And this weird thing under his armpit right here, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe a little hairy armpits or something. So I cleaned all that up and changed the color. And this is, what I came up with.
Not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's super cute, I thought. I love that he's kind of cute, but he still looks like he's vicious, right? Like, he'll still give you the business if he can. And then, of course, I made 2 St. Patrick's Day designs out of it. So it's not Irish luck, it's Viking skill. So I used to have a different image of a Viking that I didn't really like as much. But it was popular last year. It sold quite a few shirts, so people liked the phrasing. So I made a version of it with the mini Viking.
I love mini Viking. That is so great.
Yeah, cool. And then because I came up with another slogan. I shouldn't have 2 designs for St. Patrick's Day, but I just loved this this little saying here where it says "Give ale or get the axe."
Too cute.
Yeah. So 2 versions, and actually all 3 of these versions have sold already. People are enjoying them. So
fantastic.
That's really nice.
Yeah. So fun. Oh, and I'm sure you guys remember my tick shirt. This has sold quite a few versions too now.
Oh no.
Garrett loves you.
I don't love it. I love it.
It became canon with the Hunger Games.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this was came from a Hunger Games, that where if you haven't seen it, everybody, I made it all the way to the final 1-on-1 in Hunger Games, but the ticks got spawned in and they jumped on me and killed me. So, but that was super fun. And
oh gosh, yes, it was.
I see Gwen back now. Do we have Gwen audio? Gwen's back.
Did it happen again?
Yeah.
Did I freeze like mid-sentence?
No,
you were still visually. We saw you. It was just that your audio just stopped.
Yeah.
Oh, for me, I lost like you all froze, and then I couldn't hear anything, and then I had to reboot my computer. So sorry about that. It happened just before we started recording, and I was like, oh, okay. Hopefully, it was just a one-off. I have no idea what's happening. So yeah, I'm gonna have to troubleshoot that. Right when I was speaking as well.
Sounds like what was happening when my motherboard was bad.
Oh,
don't say that. That PC is brand new, and I was in the move, I was so careful. I was like literally carrying it on my lap like the whole time. So it no, and I've played with it. I've streamed completely fine. It's just today, I don't know. It's not happy.
Yeah.
Well,
also
maybe
make sure your power supply is big enough for everything you have in there. That can be if your system's overloaded. I mean, there's a lot of things it could be, but
yeah, it might also be Discord. So try not watching the transmission of the of the Podheim. So
yeah, but she should be able to, right? With a new computer, she should be able to run everything.
Yeah, but if she doesn't finish the connection of the internet and stuff, might be Discord.
Yeah. So Glenn moved from one of the things, Glenn, you said it's really dark and you're organizing, but you don't have that whiteboard anymore behind you it was reflecting your light. Your ring light. Like we always saw a big bright light on your whiteboard behind you, but no more.
So now you see it in my glasses instead. No, I don't know. I have plans for this background. Okay, you can see a bit of the mess. Okay, I'm going to cover it like that. Yes. For this background.
What's all that crap on the floor back there?
Yeah, it's all my sewing supplies and things. But yeah, once I figure out the background and make it all nice, then I'll light it up so you can see it and see less of the wall and curtain there. But yeah, no, it's a pretty cool place. As I said, it's like 500 years old, which is crazy to be living in a place that's that old 16th century Tudor house. It comes with its drawbacks, like if you're very, very tall, you have to duck a little bit to go through certain doors because the door frames are quite low and that kind of funny stuff.
So make
and
my
it's
husband
also
a padded hat if we come visit you.
Yes, yeah. I have already banned a couple of my friends who are way too tall that I know are going to bang their heads too many times. I'm like, no, come with a helmet.
Yes. Hard hat required to enter.
Exactly, but yeah, no, it's been fun so far. I'm only renting this place, so I don't know how long I'm going to stay here. But I thought to myself, if I'm going to be renting anyway, I might as well just have fun with it and try to find a place. And I found this place that's an old Tudor house, and it was always kind of my dream, my history nerd dream, to live in a really old house. So I'm fulfilling that now. And I have cool plans for it. I've been having a bit of fun decorating it and stuff. It's I'm going thrift shopping a lot. In the UK, we've got charity shops, which are wonderful, all secondhand kind of recycled items and so on. And yeah, it's a new hobby of mine now. I just go and raid all the charity shops, look at the homeware section to see if there's any cool like vintage or antiques or fun stuff that I can use for decoration. And so far, I've been hoarding a couple of things, and I'm having fun with that. I'm embracing fully the old-timey look. And so, because the place was unfurnished, I've been filling it with, again, mostly secondhand furniture, because I'm trying to keep it on a budget, but also stay true to the style of the house. Like IKEA furniture here would just look weird and wrong. So I've been basically just, raiding antique shops, secondhand shops and stuff like that, gotten like really nice antique furniture pieces for close to nothing, like really beautiful hardwood console tables and like different furnitures and things, and it fits the place perfectly. And so now I'm embracing the medieval cottage witch style, and I'm trying to decorate everything like that. So
that's one of the things I'm envious of about you living in Europe and, in the US. We're not that old, so we don't have 500 year old houses all over the place and art, really old furniture and stuff like that. But so I think of my house as being old, but it was only built in the 1950s. Your house is built 500 years ago. It's totally old.
It's crazy to me. It's I love it. I love that about Europe and any old continents, that you can just walk around and walk past like hundreds of years of history through buildings and stuff like that. And I know in the US, like a lot of those old buildings are now museums and things like that. But we have a lot of those too. But I think most Western European countries, I don't know so much about, Eastern, Central Europe. I think they suffered a bit more throughout the wars and stuff like that. But Western Europe, places like France and Germany and the UK have been pretty good at preserving their heritage and architecture. So a lot of these buildings are actually protected, and you can't modify them like too much, or you have to stick to the like aesthetic of it, of its time period and so on. So it's really good because it gives a lot of those different towns and places a lot of character, because you still see really, really old buildings, and it's got its charm. So I have been busy doing that, moving, but I also went and visited my family in France for 2 weeks over the holidays. Visited my family, and then also went to visit my best friend who lives in Paris. And we went, she had booked with her boyfriend to go to this park thing where they had the similar illumination thing that you and Morning Darkness went to like last winter, I think. Yeah. Which is kind of like... So it was a similar thing, and so we went there, the three of us, and it was lovely. I took a couple of pictures that you can quickly whiz through just to give people an idea. But essentially, for those who can't see or just on the audio, it's art installations out in a park.
At night,
you go in the evening, at night, and it's all illuminated figures, and it's all kind of made out of this I think it's like see-through fabrics of different colors, and then lights inside of different colors, and they create basically like crazy settings. There was a lot of animals. There was a lot of cool, like little buildings and things. And the way this one was set up, it was you would walk through, and it was lots of little areas with each continent represented with its animals. So this was like the ocean floor. You can see some algae, some fish, and some how do you call them?
Is a jellyfish, a clam?
Yeah, jellyfish. Yeah, I had the word in French, but I was like, what is it? Jellyfish and stuff like that. And then you had like different continents. So you had like Africa with the zebras and lions and the savannah and stuff.
Cool.
It was really beautifully made. And it almost, we were initially going to go it was initially cancelled because we had really, really bad weather. We had like a bad storm for a couple of days in Europe. And so it was initially cancelled because the previous day, because of the heavy rain and wind, because it's all outdoors. And then we checked again and they were actually reopened. And so we got lucky to be able to rebook. That's a tardigrade.
Yep.
Coolest animal ever, which is
Water
so
bear.
tiny. Yes. They had like a dinosaur with like cool smoke effects and stuff like that. Oh, they had a really cool thing. Also, at some point, there was a fake northern lights, like northern sky lights. You know what you see in if you're like far enough in the northern hemisphere, you see these really cool like blue and green lights in the sky. So they had that with lasers and lights and a smoke machine.
Wow.
And so they managed to do that sort of effect, and that was really cool to see. I didn't send you pictures of that. I think I only had it on video. But yeah, we got quite lucky with the weather. As you can see, it's quite muddy because it was like rainy, very rainy that week. And I think we managed to get the half hour of no rain just as we started the tour. And then it started raining when it was towards the end, but at that point we had seen most of it. So we got a bit lucky. That was really cool. And then did a bunch of other stuff. Mostly spending time with family, eating way too much food, sleeping a lot. But I did manage to do quite a lot of streams. I took my gaming laptop with me to France because I didn't want to not stream for 2 weeks. And to be honest, I knew that at my parents, I would at some point get to the point where I needed some time for myself and some distractions. So I took my laptop, did a bit of gaming. We did a bit of Medieval Dynasty playthrough with actually Baste and some with Jirok too, and Jules and Legion. And then I did what will now be the annual New Year's Eve streaming with my sister, aka forcing my sister to play with me. And because we did that last year, last Christmas, my sister visited and stayed over at mine. And so on New Year's Eve, we did a stream together where we were playing Valheim. And she had played a tiny bit of Valheim, but hasn't gone through a full playthrough. So she doesn't know most of the bosses. She knew like just the first one. So basically, whenever I play with her, we kind of go through and try to go through each biome and go through the normal progression and go through all the bosses. So now we were hoping to find Moda. We didn't find Moda yet, but we're at the mountains, basically.
That's some good progression.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it took us a while. We had to do 2 attempts at killing bone mass. I think that was the trickiest one so far because
I remember that.
Yeah, it was not good. I hate bone mass still. Like any playthrough, bone mass, I never, I don't know if I would ever manage to solo bone mass. But then I also hate the queen now, so that's going to be fun to try to kill with my sister to defeat the queen. So we're at Moda. I'm hoping to again manage to drag her to play Valheim with me a bit more often, so I can actually go through the progression with her. But that was quite fun. And then did the big Hunger Games event. Yeah, that Jirok, I think, spoke about. I was invited to take part in that as well, but I'll talk about it a bit later.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for Valheim news, there was a dev blog when they released the let me show you. So they actually put out a blog here, and they put out a video where they do a walk and talk together. And the video is like 12 minutes long, I think. Yeah. And I did a quick summary of the video and the blog in just over 3 minutes. I'll let that play in the background. But they have animated lava. Isn't that awesome? Remember we were talking about all that? Was it just going to be hot ground, or was it going to actually be animated lava? So I'm super excited for what they're going to do with the Ashlands. They released some images of new food here. If you haven't seen, some of the new plants that are in the Ashlands, and here's the image of the new armor. And in my video, I brighten this up so you can and zoom in so you really get a close look at that. But
hey, Jirok.
Yeah,
it's a Viking with horns.
With horns. Yes, finally. Yeah. Well, you know, Iron Gate, they do what they want.
They do what they want.
It's fantasy Viking stuff, so you can do all kinds of cool. Actually, it almost feels more like antlers, right? Like
yeah.
It does. Yeah.
They remind me of the root mask a bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And you see the glowing red eyes? Like you gotta wonder.
Yeah.
Because normally Vikings in Valheim have blue eyes, not red eyes.
We have glowing blue eyes.
Something in the helmet there that changes something.
Yeah, something's going on in there. Maybe you can become evil. His skin color even looks a little green in here.
Green, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they have another image of it right there. They gave us 2 images. So very cool. I can't wait to see the rest of. Well, you know, when they said it would come out sometime in the first half of 2024, which could be all the way until June.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, but yeah, we don't know. I'm kind of hoping and guessing based on how much progress I've seen that it'll come out before Easter.
I think
March, April.
I'm thinking March, yeah.
Yeah. But in the meantime, it's a good time to talk about my new seasonal server, which is season 5, and I call it Pillars of Tyr because there's a bunch of towers in various, fully built and some that are in ruins all around the world. And I built up on my season 4 server where I've added little things to the biomes to make them more interesting, a whole bunch of cool surprises. But these Pillars of Tyr, they have special loot items in there so that you can actually get magic early game. Early game magic. Now, obviously, you don't have as many supplies to keep maintaining it until you get to the Mistlands and can start farming all that stuff. But you can get a little bit of magic early game, probably as early as Black Forest. If you go around to all the POIs and things and start getting magic and a bunch of other cool things, like the modder Yere, he's put some tools in for us. So even in vanilla Valheim with no mods, you don't need mods to play on my season 5 server. I'm able to create interesting interactions with objects. So you know how you go and you pick a bush and you get berries from it. Well, I renamed the bush, so when you walk up to it, it has a different name. It doesn't say blueberry bush. There's one of them that says shaky bush. So, like, it's shaky bush. It's moving a little. And then when you click it, a whole bunch of rabbits jump out, from the Mistlands rabbits. They all jump out and they start running around. So that's one way you got rabbits early game, too.
That's cute.
Yeah. And then there's a ghost shroom. So the little pickable blue mushrooms that aren't in Valheim?
Yeah.
So I renamed them to Ghost Shroom. I have them spawn all over the meadows in the Black Forest, but it says Ghost Shroom. And if you're brave enough to click it to try to get something from it, a whole bunch of ghosts pop out and chase you. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh man. Imagine that when you're like in your rags.
You're in your
rag
rags,
armor.
Yeah.
I got baited a few times by that mushroom.
Yeah, Vasta, you've played season 5, right? So you know.
And I always fail for the blue mushroom. I can't seem to remember that it's not okay to pick the blue mushroom.
Well, and so one of the reasons why I included it, besides the surprise, and there's a whole bunch of little things like that in season 5, surprises like that, but without mods, you don't need mods to do it, is you know how when you get involved with some mobs, maybe in a zone that is too tough for you, well, you run them into another biome to get the mobs from the other biome to help you fight them. Like when you get feelings or something, like they're really tough before you build up your gear. Well, you can kind of drag them into the swamp and, maybe the mountains or I guess even the Black Forest, and soften them up a little bit with the mobs helping you. Well, that's what you can do with the ghost shroom. You can lead something over to the ghost shroom, pop a ghost shroom, and then let the ghosts fight it. So
yeah,
like you can use them strategically too if you're careful.
Especially if you have a troll behind you.
Yes. Yeah, see the troll go and the ghost going at it. That's fun. So season 5 is running now, and we refresh the zones every month. So the next refresh, I think, is going to be in about a week from the recording of this podcast. Okay. And basically, if there are zones that players have not built in, they'll refresh. So the terrain resets, dungeons reset, fueling camps reset, and then all the new special POIs that I've placed all over the map, they reset too. So if you're a new player just joining us, you can you can still visit these places and enjoy the content, because every month the zones refresh. Not only that, if you want to play on your single player, you can download it. I have it available for download. So of course, access to my servers and the downloads are a perk for my supporters. Yes, you have a question?
I do. So I tried to download season 4 the other day.
Oh, season 4.
Yeah, because I wanted to show off the kitchen build that I had done.
And? I
logged in to one of the floating islands, and there was nothing there but a death.
Oh, so you what, did you download the fresh one or the end one?
I thought I had downloaded the end one, but
you must have downloaded the fresh version.
Okay, so the end version is also available. I just downloaded the wrong one. Check.
It should be, yeah. Let me know if it's not, if you do. Yeah, because I upload the very fresh map for each season, and then when I shut down a season, I save it and I upload what I call the end of the season map, so people can always go back, like MD was trying to do, and look at her build.
I double checked and I didn't see anything, but I'll look again. But okay, good to know. Because
well, yeah, the thing she's talking about. The floating islands are these, if you haven't seen, there's these just massive islands of material, of like land and rocks and trees and stuff that are kind of like the movie, not Pandora, Avatar.
Yes.
Avatar on Pandora. I always mix up the two in my head for some reason. But yeah, like in Avatar, the floating islands, we have them. So when you're sailing around in the ocean, you may come across this giant floating island, and there's treasure at the top if you can make it there. And of course, there's a whole bunch of encounters along the way where you logged into.
Really cool to build on.
Yeah, they're very fun to build on. Very beautiful views. And speaking of interesting encounters, you know how Valheim's oceans, it's almost not really fun to sail after you've done it for a little bit, because there's only sea serpents there. And those are even kind of rare. And every once in a while you come across the Leviathan, which doesn't attack you. You just get some chitin from it.
Or a pufferfish.
Or, there are, pufferfish can be a nuisance out there too. And you can do some fishing out in the ocean now. But any mob that flies or swims, they have wandered out into the ocean in season 5. So they actually spawn out in the ocean. So when you're out in the ocean, you come across all kinds of things now. It's not just easy sailing to get somewhere. There are things that you encounter, and there are boss serpents. So when you come across, you'll see their name bar appear at the top like a boss, and they do more damage, and they have more health, and and this, again, no mods required. I use mods to create it, but you can play it vanilla. And as I was saying, so patrons, you support me on YouTube or Patreon, you just get instant access. But if you can't afford to support, just shoot me an email. Or you can fill out the application on my website, and just hey, let me know that you're a fan of my work, of our podcast, of what we got going on over here, and that you're unable to support right now. No problem. And I'll shoot you a link to, I actually have to authorize your email address for the download. So yeah, shoot me an email and I'll get you access. You can download it, or you can even play on our servers, even if you can't afford to support. So I don't want, money to be a reason why people can't come and have fun and enjoy all this great content that we've created. So
I believe I haven't gotten to play in season 5 yet, but it has just been so stinking busy.
Yeah, no, the holidays, it's crazy busy. And I released it like just a few days, I think, before Christmas, so, as like a Christmas gift. Here, everybody who is a supporter, jump on in and start playing if you have time. Because, a lot of people there, they do have time off during the holidays. So, and then, so that's a gaming server update. And we're going to talk about new games for this year, but Enshrouded comes out in 7 days from this recording, so on the 24th.
Oh, man.
G-Portal is already advertising that they're going to be having servers for this. So I will have an Enshrouded server, and I'll be doing more promotion for it. But I'll have a community Enshrouded server. So jump on our Discord, fill out an application on my website, let us know who you are, and then you get to come play with a fun community. And the thing is, we have a really good honor system here, and everybody's really friendly and respectful of each other. So if you've played on public servers before, my server's not open to the public. You either got to be a patron or a supporter, or you have to apply and let me know that you can't afford to support right now. No problem. But we do kind of, we have a little bit of a gate there to, into entry, so that we're able to filter out some of the bad actors that might come on. And we have active admins, so we can deal with anybody who it becomes a nuisance. So, but our community is generally super friendly, right? I mean, that's where I met all you wonderful people and all the others who come and go in between games and different seasons of Valheim that I put out, is all through that fun honor system of, playing together and being friendly to each other and not being a problem player. So we don't have a lot of time because MD has to go. So I wanted to jump into a couple of quick things that we were going to talk about. Gaming moments that stood out in 2023. Now, whether they're something personal, something you saw online or heard from someone else, an article you read or a video you watched, was there something fun that really stood out for you, MD, in 2023?
I could take up the rest of the time we had with.
I know. Pick one or two big things that stood out for you from last year.
All right. Well, the things that I have written down on the list, I sent you like 7 clips, and they're all usually like about 30 seconds, but and that was from my entire year. But let me see here. The Hunger Games event just happened a couple weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. I got to be there with Gwen and Jirok and a whole cast of amazing people.
Yeah,
I dressed up with
definitely a highlight, right?
With some war paint.
Yes, you did.
And then another really great. I wrote the wrong number here, but a great memory that I have was actually this time last year. Gwen and Jirok and Bambi and I did a Chaos Tricks stream where the audience gets to spawn in monsters to
was
celebrate.
That a whole year already?
That was a year ago to celebrate me hitting 1,000 followers.
That was fun. That was so chaotic.
So chaotic. And I one of the clips that I sent Jirok is the Shield Maiden stacking.
Oh,
Three of us died at the same time, and we all just spawned on top of each other. It was very funny. And then I did a charity stream with Gwen and Gwen's sibling and Kongville and Eric Kent Gaming and Miel. It was a fantastic event. We raised, what was it, like $2,000?
Over $2,000, I think $2,150 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
For the Trevor Project. And that was in September? No, that was in August.
July. Early July. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, that was July. Yeah. Okay, so that was July. But yeah, I absolutely, there were some incredible moments. And I think one of my other favorite moments was I was playing with Red Fairy and the Shield Maidens, and we were celebrating having done a year of Shield Maiden, and we were having a race off the edge of the map. And there were three of us that were like neck and neck, and then I abandoned my raft, jumped onto the front of someone else's raft, and then jumped off the world to win.
I remember seeing that clip. That was funny.
Yeah, first one over wins, and you abandon ship to run over and get out. That was awesome. I saw that too.
Yeah. So yeah, I was looking through a whole bunch of clips, just trying to be like, okay, what would really, bring everything together? And I realized that things have been entirely unhinged on my channel. So
well, that could be a good thing sometimes.
Yeah, don't tell me it's a bad thing, because otherwise I'm in trouble.
Lots of laughs, but like, oh my goodness. But yeah, so it's been a good year. It's been a good year of gaming and making friends and building community, and just it's been incredible.
And a question for you. So you said about this time last year you were celebrating 1,000 what do they call them? Followers, subscribers over there? What do they call them on Twitch?
Yep.
And what do you have now, though?
I just hit 2,000 actually.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
so you doubled since last year.
Yeah. I hit 2,000 a couple months ago actually. So I'm at like 2,035, 36.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I used to be like, oh no, the only reason I'm growing is because of Jirok and the podcast and like, all these other people that I'm so, honored to be able to be playing with, to have visibility with and all this. And I'm like, oh no, I just hit 2,000. I guess I have some of my own merit now. Maybe.
Yeah, totally. Especially because Twitch, I mean, a lot of, at least Jirok, me, and the podcast, all of that is more YouTube-based community, but you built your entire community on Twitch, which is a completely different platform. There's not that a huge amount of crossover, I find, between YouTube and Twitch audiences.
But not, it's not big. But no, like,
it's all you. So you, girl. You go.
There are some delightful people from Jirok's community that have absolutely come and supported me. As a matter of fact, Legion has been a part of my stream for the last almost 4 months now, almost every week, because she's joined me for the Return to Moria community run. And now we're doing a No Map community run again.
Nice.
On Friday nights, Saturday mornings. And so it's been an absolute delight because I get to play with Legion like 2 times a week.
Yeah. I've stolen her for my medieval dynasty little co-op group. It's great.
She's so supportive and wonderful. So Legion, we love you because you're amazing and get to play with you.
Very awesome. Well, and I'm conscious of the time that we've got. So why don't you tell us also, what were your favorite games of 2023? Obviously, we're looking for games that came out in 2023 or had some major, update or something to them.
Right. All right. Well, just a quick sum up list of what I did play and stream this year. I've played PAX Day, Spirit of the North, Palia, Above Snakes, Small Land, Moria, Return to Moria. I actually didn't start playing Baldur's Gate until the new year, so I guess that one doesn't count. Cosmoteer, Space Haven, Jedi Fallen Order, and then mostly Valheim. So of that list,
what was your favorite, and maybe a reason why? Like, what did it do to titillate you, like your senses, and like you just fell in love with some aspect of it?
All right. Well, if we don't talk about Valheim, because I could just talk about Valheim.
Well, Valheim, it came out a few years ago.
I'd have to say that the alpha test for PAX Day
I thought you were going to say that.
had me by the hair. I played that game every night for 15 days in a row. Plus, I was playing off stream. I am very interested to see where that game goes. Obviously, it's in alpha testing, so there's not a whole lot there yet. But what was there, absolutely, I very much look forward to seeing where they go with it. They're going to be doing another alpha test in in a month or two, and then they're going to be opening it up for what is it? Open
like open beta test or something?
no, early access.
Oh, early access, yeah.
In the next quarter, and I'm like,
Already.
That does seem a little soon for what they had, but it'll be interesting to see what they come up with.
Early access is not beta testing.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Early access. So we'll see where they go with that. We'll see what they actually do. I have my concerns.
They need a whole combat system for early access if they're going to go out of testing.
I know, right? I think that's what the next alpha test is possibly going to be. I have no idea. They haven't confirmed or denied anything. But my theory is that that's going to be the next thing. But yeah, I almost would have said Palea, but Palea has really betrayed my trust in the last couple months. And so it has lost favor, in my opinion. No one's playing it anymore.
Is there a quick summary to that reason?
Yeah, they have too many bugs that they're not fixing, and they're dropping new content regularly and not addressing the issues that are wrong.
That's happened with some of my favorite games over the years. Pre-Valheim is where there's bugs that are major problems, but they're still releasing new content.
Yeah, and so
usually that's two different teams, though, right?
Right.
So I try not to hold it against them because you're like one team's.
Every new update breaks more things.
Oh, well, then that's even a problem too, right?
Yeah, it's making the game unplayable to a certain extent. So.
Yeah. Well, for anybody who doesn't know, PAX Day, PAX is the first word. The second word is day, DEI, and it is open world survival crafting building game, but it's a massive multiplayer. So it's not just like where individuals like myself or anybody here hosts a server and you play with friends or single player. It is like World of Warcraft in that it's a massive multiplayer online game and hundreds or thousands of players are playing on the same shards or realms or whatever they decide to call them. And so it's like, imagine playing Valheim, but you're playing it with hundreds or thousands of other players all in the same world. So that's exciting. Yeah. There's another game coming out that's going to be doing that soon too, that we could talk about as we get to games you're looking forward to in 2024.
You want me to give you my list for that too real quick before I have to go in 4 minutes?
Yeah, real quick. Why don't you give us that?
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
So yeah, I have reserved excitement for Enshrouded. That's coming out in a week. Because when I tried to play their beta testing, I couldn't even get it to run on my laptop. Now I have a new computer, but
I think you're going to like it.
What I saw, the building looked clunky to me, so it's a
little clunky.
I have reservations, but we'll see. I'm finally excited to get into Baldur's Gate 3, but that released last year. Dune Awakening, I know they're doing beta testing right now. I haven't been privileged to be invited to any of the beta testing yet, but I did apply. But I don't know. It looks like it might be something that released this year. Who knows? They're doing a lot of advertising for it. Little Kitty Big City. It's really cute and really cozy.
I've never heard of that. I'm going to have to Google that later.
Oh, you're a cat that gets lost in the big city. It's very.
That sounds cute.
It's non-dystopian Stray. Farewell North looks really, really good. It has a lot of similarities to Spirit of the North. So we'll see how that goes. Tavern Talk is a game that I actually kickstarted, and they have just a little demo out right now that looks really cute. So if you want to learn what it is to be a bartender that uses drinks to change the fate of heroes in a fantasy style, storytelling sort of style game, it's very cute. There's that. And then Light No Fire has my attention.
Oh my goodness.
It has my attention.
Yeah. So just for anybody who hasn't heard, Light No Fire from Hello Games that did No Man's Sky. And do you want to describe what they say the world is going to be, Morning?
Oh my gosh, can I even? So yeah, it's the same developers as No Man's Sky, and it looks like a survival crafting game where honestly, I don't feel like I'm going to do it justice trying to describe it, but it looks like you are exploring some sort of fantasy world, and it is a whole world. Oh yeah, so you just play the trailer. This will do great.
Well, that he says it's going to be this bigger than the actual Earth that we live on.
Yeah.
And that mountains are going to be miles high and the ocean's super deep.
And you can swim in the oceans and explore. Like, oh my God.
You can fly on mounts. You can ride mounts. You can go into the ocean. There's it's
no inch of the world that they are developing is unexplorable. Like, I
don't know if we can manipulate the terrain. I hope so. Being able to dig and flatten and stuff like that is just something that I really love about some games, especially if you can dig caves. Like, we don't really know those details yet.
It doesn't look like you can in this game.
From what they've shown us here, no. But if it's like No Man's Sky, the answer would be yes. Like, that was a big part of that game. So I'm kind of hoping. But the fact that they say it's bigger than the Earth, if you try to walk around the planet, it would take you forever. Even fly around, it would take forever because it's so massive.
Look, what is that? Well,
I think it's a boss, some kind of boss. But look at all the different races you can play. There's like rabbit people, and I think there was a cat person in one of the shots too, and other different races. But I mean, look at this world. This is really amazing. This is probably on my list too. This is like one of my most anticipated games, and we don't know if this is coming out in 2024. They haven't mentioned when, but we're kind of hoping, since they made the announcement, that maybe we'll see some in 2024.
If nothing else, beta testing or alpha testing. Let me help you break your game. I will do it.
Exactly.
I will do it. Please, if you are watching this and you are a game developer, please.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then more PAX Day. I'm really looking forward to more PAX Day. So, that's my year in a nutshell. I'm so sorry I have to go. It's fine. We'll cover ours.
I have to go to the new place and check on the roofers and the repairs that they're doing, because we might be moving.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning before to that house in, was it Oakland Hills?
Yeah.
Well, that'll be cool. All right, MD. Well, thanks for joining us.
Take care. Have fun.
See?
Yeah.
And at some point, the four of us might have to do a Baldur's Gate run.
Yeah. Oh, that would be so much fun.
Yeah.
Because it is a
I am actually finally open to that. I have time now. So maybe.
Now that you're settled in. Oh, I would love that. It's such a fun game. So Vaste, do you have a favorite gaming moment from last year, or something that just stood out for you?
If I had to choose one, it's Baldur's Gate. Now that we're talking about it.
Well, not your favorite game of 2023, but a gaming moment.
Yeah.
Oh, in Baldur's Gate?
Both what it means for the gaming companies.
Yeah.
It break everything because it came out and it was a storm. And I've been playing with some friends, and we just recently got into Act 2, and we started like months ago. we play a little, we mess around most of the time, and end up killing each other because someone do something.
Yeah.
It's been so fun. We haven't even got into the half of the game, but going slow.
I have 135 hours in Baldur's Gate 3, and I haven't gotten past Act 1 yet.
Oh,
I like just messing around with everything there. I don't know. I haven't gotten past it yet.
well, I finished already 2 full games on my own, so.
Oh, okay. And then, but with your group, you guys just got past Act 1.
Yeah, barely, because we even have 2 different games. One with we are 3, with the other we are 4. Due to times, someone is not available, and we go and come to the.
So is your favorite gaming moment, are you talking about the fact that Baldur's Gate 3 sort of revolutionized the role-playing game genre and made any other game out there, even new ones that came out in 2023 or within the last few years, just pale in comparison? Nobody else really does that level of freedom of choice in a game, or the way they do the role playing and the motion capture and the voice acting. It is so engaging.
The voice acting on release, there was barely any game breaking bugs or bugs that were annoying. It was great on release. On first day, I played it on the first day, and it was great. I'm moving the table too much.
The
motion.
They set a new standard for role playing games. Like I've not played many role playing games in the last maybe 10 or 15 years ago. I was maybe doing more role playing games and kind of switched to first person shooters and survival games. But now, if games are going to be like Baldur's Gate 3 or more games from that company, Larian Studios, like I want to play those games now because they're so engaging. It's absolutely amazing. So just to clarify, are you saying that your favorite game of 2023 was Baldur's Gate 3 then?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. But you're also enjoying Avatar Frontier of Pandora that came out last year, right?
It came out last year. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I hear the visuals are really nice.
Just the visuals. The gameplay I didn't like. It's not that much of my style, but just for the visual, it's a great looking game.
You like running around in there?
Yeah.
Because it looks so cool, right?
I really like the Avatar movie, so it was like all the setting, all the world. They did it nice, really nice.
Well, so what game are you looking forward to then in 2024?
To 2024, I have a few games that first of all, the most I'm looking forward is Star Wars Outlaws. I really like Star Wars, so having one open world of that will be amazing. And
what kind of game is Star Wars Outlaws?
I think it's, for what I understand, it's a shooter game, shooting open world, shooting. Shooting.
It's single player game?
Yes, single player game, open world, big one with a lot like Starfield for what they say, with a lot of these different worlds. There's a fixed main protagonist. You won't be able to change that much of the characters aside of the clothes.
Yeah.
And they keep pet.
There seem to be some role-playing elements too, right? You probably talk and interact with other characters.
Yeah, it's an adventure action role-play stuff.
Yeah. Cool. So that's the big one you're looking forward to.
The big one, and then I recently hear that The Wolf Among Us would release a second game. That's a storytelling game. It's more like a visual novel style where you go around watching the story and make a few decisions with they have some impact in your story. The first one was really good. The main character is a werewolf, and he lives in, I don't remember right now if it was a hotel or a casino with all mythical creatures, magical creatures, and he's a detective. And they need to hide that they have magic and stuff. So it was like a mystery style that trying to see who did the crime.
I like the artwork style that they're showing, right, Gwen?
Yes, I was about to say I like the art style.
This company has a really unique art style. They do this for all their games, and in the visual novel, it just go really well with what you're doing.
It does look like a comic or graphic novel style, but animated. It's really cool.
Yeah, graphic novel come to life.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So, and then you have one other game that you were really looking forward to.
There's no news yet, but I really like the Assassin's Creed game. That's 2 Ubisoft games on 1 year. That will be awesome. And the next Assassin's Creed is safe to be on Japan. There's not much. There's just this teaser and not much else, but it's supposed to be out this year.
It looks like it takes place in Japan?
Yeah, in Japan. It takes place in Japan with ninja stuff. If you know something about Assassin's Creed, they try most of the game. They go around being stealthy and do assassinations, and it just fits the Japan ninja style. It's something that everyone was hoping they will do sooner.
Yeah.
It's funny how there's definitely a trend in not gaming, but also like pop culture, movies and TV series and stuff. Like there was definitely some years ago a pirate phase where all the games were pirate themed.
Yeah.
And then there was the Viking phase, with the Viking TV series and lots of Viking games, and including Assassin's Creed, right?
Assassin's Creed was on both, you say.
Yeah. And then I think we've entered in the past 2-3 years, maybe 2 years, the medieval Japan phase, because there was that other game that was really good. Something Ghost of Tsushima or something like that. That was really popular.
And Sekiro.
Yeah, those two came out in the last Well, Sekiro I don't know, but Ghost of Tsushima came out during the pandemic.
Not that much.
Yeah. So now with that, and then the same gaming studio that does Medieval Dynasty has a similar one that is also set in Japan, and I've seen like a lot of other
Japan
games.
One now.
They've had it for a while. It's just not on co-op yet. So we've definitely entered the medieval or Edo era Japan phase, which maybe I need to get into.
Maybe, who knows?
Yeah,
but there's a lot of new stuff. I saw the list of games. I tried to reduce it to the most expected one for me. I should have included today, but I'm not actually sure how much I will play for the game. I think I will play for being in the community with all the Morning Darkness group and you, Shirok, if you end up joining, more than the actual game.
Which game is this?
PAX Day.
Oh, PAX Day, yeah. PAX Day. I'm a little concerned about the content that they're going to have. It seems a little light on content right now, and the combat. It seems like they, at least from my perspective, that they focused more on the building, which is important, obviously, for these kinds of games. But I'm definitely curious to follow it and see where it goes.
Yeah, of course.
There's so many games, old and new, to play. Okay, so Gwen, do you have a favorite gaming moment from last year?
I think I'm gonna mention probably two of the ones that MD already mentioned earlier. So I think the most recent one, being invited to take part in the Valheim All-Star Hunger Games, was huge. Like being able to play with all the biggest content creators around Valheim and get to actually meet some of them and play with them. And it was just a really, really fun event. So for anyone who hasn't seen that, like it was 10 or 11 of us content creators. And we all either streamed or recorded and posted the videos. So it's really fun because you can watch like each perspective from all the players, and yeah, it was a really, really fun event and a really great kind of community moment for all the content creators. So I was really felt honored to be invited to that because I was definitely the smallest channel there. Along with Kongville, we were the two noobs in there, but it was fun. We also were the not to spoil anything, but the first two to be eliminated, and I kind of felt bad because. So it was funny. I think that is probably maybe also the other highlight is so some content creators decided to make alliances and then gang up on others. Yeah,
sounds like the smart thing to do. Whoever that was.
I stayed away from all of that, except when I was being hunted down by one of the other players. That the one who was champion from the previous Hunger Games event that Kaizen hosted on his servers. And then I came across and I saw Kongville was nearby, and Kongville and I are like buddies. We're buddies in chaos, and we were immediately like friends. Okay, let's try to survive together. And then immediately got killed, both of us, by that player, by B Vitamin, and it was quite funny actually. So that was for me a big milestone and a really fun event to be part of. That I streamed from my brother's room while I was visiting my parents. I was so unsure that it would work out because I was on my gaming laptop, which isn't like super great for streaming and running games. I mean, it's a laptop, so like limited CPU and stuff. And also I was on my parents' shoddy Wi-Fi. And also it was like late at night, and yeah, basically it was a bit, I wasn't sure if I would make it, but I did, and I got eliminated pretty quick. So that was that. But it was very fun to be part of that. And then I think the other one big moment for me was the charity stream that Morning Darkness mentioned, the one that we did to support the Trevor projects. We did that just at the end of Pride Month. And the Trevor Project, for those who don't know, is a great charity that supports and helps with kind of just mental health and focusing on the LGBTQ community, which is a lot more at risk of mental health and suicide, etc. So they do a lot of suicide prevention, and we thought it was an important cause for a lot of us to do that. So I ganged up with Morning Darkness, with Kongville Gaming, and Eric Can't Play on the YouTube side. And then my sister and Miel, one of her friends, who's also a Twitch streamer who does Twitch streams of art, because of my sister's friends are very talented artists. She is an artist herself. And yeah, it was kind of a fun experience to bring the communities together, and we managed to raise over $2,000, which was huge for this kind of event. And so, yeah, very, very proud of that because it's an important cause for all of us. So we were really happy to be able to represent that. And the event that we did itself was really fun. It was a two-team kind of event. So we had 3 of us YouTubers versus the 2 Twitch streamers and my sister, who were playing together. So Morning Darkness, my sister and Miel were playing together, and me, Kongville, and Erica were playing in one team, in the other team. And basically we had a limited time. I think we ended up setting ourselves like 3 hours to collect all the materials to make a rainbow with the banners. So basically do all the banners in game to represent and have like a nice rainbow display. So it was a kind of a fun one where you had to go into different biomes and source all the materials and stuff. And it does really force you to get through most of the biomes. So it was really fun to do that little challenge, and yeah, a great moment again with the community and stuff. So those were my big two.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I remember this event when you guys did this. It was fun to watch, and it's on Gwen's channel, Gwen the Shield Maiden, on YouTube, and in the live section, right? The live videos, because you did this live. So check that out. And they can probably still donate to this, right? You probably have a link.
The link is still right up. Yeah, the link is still up. And so there's a couple of things linked to that. I'm carrying on supporting that charity. So since then, I have reached 500 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm part of their partner program. I'm not yet monetized in terms of the ads and stuff. You have to reach 1,000 for that. But I do have the ability to receive donations through live streams. So super chats and super thanks is what it's called in YouTube live streams. I haven't activated the YouTube membership yet because I just felt like I need to do a bit more like content before I turn that on. But either way, until further notice, I think I had set it up for all of last year. I think for the next couple of months still, for anyone who donates money to through super chats and super thanks, I'm still going to donate all that money back, to transfer that money to the Trevor Project, to our little charity fund. So anyone supporting me will be supporting the Trevor Project. And yeah, we might do another one of these streams in the near future. I think we all really enjoyed it. So we might do that. And I still need to paint my shield the rainbow colors, which I said I would do like if we reached 2,000. I haven't used that shield at all. And it's sat right there, and I have all the paint for it. I just need to fix the mess behind and do a couple of other things, and then I will paint it, and I will do a video about that as well. But yeah, I'm excited to keep supporting the Trevor Project throughout this year as well, and we'll probably do another fun event or charity stream, if not before, during Pride Month in June again. Yeah.
Awesome. And so, what did you have a favorite game that you played in 2023? Not counting Valheim, of course.
Yeah. Well, I didn't try a whole lot of new games. I think the only true new to 2023 game was the co-op update of Medieval Dynasty that I've played, and that came out in early December. So really the last month of 2023, I've been playing, since the last month of 2023, playing Medieval Dynasty. So I guess that counts as new because it was a big update to the game, a new map, co-op mode, lots of new content and stuff. But I did try some other, not new to 2023, but new games to me. So we did a 7 Days to Die playthrough throughout October, which was really fun to get into another survival game. And then I also tried a bit of Mordau, which is another medieval game, but very much like a bash game. Like you're in an arena and you fight other players. There's not much strategy or survival component of it, other than you need to survive the duels that you do. But it was quite fun to try a different type of game. I haven't streamed any of it, mostly because I felt like I'm so bad at the game that I'm just dying most of the time.
Does this look like the game?
Yes, although I haven't played those big brawls as much. Like,
this looks like a lot of people fighting each other.
Yeah, I stuck to some of the more basic arenas, I guess, and servers. But it's like online multiplayer, so you join a server and you just go and fight people. There's definitely some technique and strategy to it. I'm just not. I just press all the buttons and hope it works. There are definitely like combos, and you're supposed to be able to like block and attacks and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just enjoying it for the cheer. Just go in, bash,
smash,
get
stuff.
wrecked a lot, and yeah.
Is it only a multiplayer game, like fighting each other, or is there a single player campaign?
There might be single player. I didn't really look into that all that much. Their UI is not the game menu. Yeah. It's not the most intuitive, I must say. Like I had to to Google or search on YouTube videos of how to join a server and how to like get going and playing with the game. Because I was trying to play it with someone else and just couldn't figure it out on the on the menu. So yeah, there is probably a solo kind of version, but yeah, it's mostly combat. It's just bash as I call it.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like fun for the combat and the atmosphere of the setting.
Yeah. The other thing that's quite fun about this game is it's very memey. Like you can like the community is quite dedicated, the community that plays it.
Yeah.
And you've got so many emotes. In fact, there's no like TeamSpeak or anything like that in the game. But the game itself has so many emotes and gestures you can do and sentences and stuff that like people communicate in game through those emotes, and it leads to really funny moments of people completely trolling. Like I was playing it with Jules a couple of times, and we got completely trolled and wrecked by people who were coming in with characters that looked like nothing. They were basically naked in underwear and just throwing rocks at us. And they were obviously really good and like really high level players. And they were just like obliterating us constantly. And then they were doing like those funny like laughing and stuff like that. And we were like, wow, okay, we're so behind. But yeah, there was some funny moments of playing that where people would just be around a fight, like in one of these arenas where you're supposed to fight everyone, but there was like a bit of an honor system where people would, apparently people emote a certain thing to engage in a duel. And yeah, there was at some point a bunch of people sat around a fire just having emote conversations to each other. And we were like, okay, I guess we'll join you. Yeah, just like the community looks quite fun. But yeah, I haven't played it in a couple of months actually. But yeah, Medieval Dynasty I think was the only real new game I played, new for 2023.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. I think that's a game probably that got me hooked the most, that I was happily playing on my off stream time as well a bit. And I want to keep playing.
So looking at this year, 2024, is there a new game that you're looking forward to that's coming out, or maybe even an old game that you haven't played yet that you really want to play?
Hard to say because I'm not really keeping up with all the new games. Like the most I hear is like this podcast is actually really educational for me because I hear about all these new games and I see all these trailers that I otherwise don't really pay attention to. There's a few games that you guys mentioned that look cool, like Nightingale and Enshrouded look quite interesting. I don't know if I am going to play them. I have a lot of other games that I want to try to play. I want to get back into Valheim as well a bit, and I want to, finish my Medieval Dynasty playthrough. So it's like, do I have time for that many other games? To me, it's because I'm very much like, it's the same with TV series. I can't start or watch multiple TV series at once. I get like overwhelmed. Yeah. I'm very much okay, this time I'm going to pick one series, I'm going to watch through it, and then once that season is done, then I can, focus on something else. So I'm a bit like that with gaming too. So I don't know. I feel like until I'm kind of a bit more, until I've finished the learning curve of playing Medieval Dynasty, I don't know if I have the the gaming capacity to take on a new one. But there's a couple of other like small games that I know I can do in just one short playthrough. That one is one that my sister recommended. That's called Bramble. It's like a little indie game, so I want to try that. She did the game in 8 hours, but she's a much better gamer than me. So I'm thinking like maybe I'll do that throughout like a week or something. There's another couple of like medieval themed games that I have in my Steam library that I have some time ago that I really need to actually play. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I am a bit curious about some of those. So like slight leap from this topic. I'm going to Japan for 3 weeks in April to visit my family because I haven't seen them. Well, half of my family on my mum's side is Japanese, and they're all live there. I haven't seen them since 2015, I think. So it's been like 8 years, and it's long overdue that I go visit them. I was planning to go in 2020, then the plague happened, and then Japan was really slow to reopen its borders and stuff. So now that I have the time, and I want to travel more this year, I've decided, like, yes, I'm going to go. So with that in mind, I definitely want to like actually get into more. Okay, what was Japan like in the Middle Ages and so on? So any game that's medieval and like medieval Japan and that's really cool, I'm very interested about. So maybe Assassin's Creed when that comes out. If the medieval dynasty, if the, I think it's Toplitz Productions is their studio. The other one, what is it called? It's something dynasty. It's not Shogun Dynasty. It's something else.
Maybe I don't really remember actually. I haven't seen that much.
Yeah, it's something dynasty that is like medieval Japan, but it's not yet on co-op. I'm kind of hoping that they release co-op for their other games like sometime this year. Because it looks like for medieval dynasty it's going well, and those games are pretty much the same, just different content, right? And I think medieval dynasty is definitely the biggest one and the most successful one by number
Sengoku
of
Dynasty.
players.
Oh yeah, it's
Sengoku Dynasty. Yeah, there you go. So if they release that co-op, I'd be really keen to play that, especially if it's the same. Yeah, especially if it's the same game dynamics and stuff than Medieval Dynasty that I'm really enjoying. So I'd be really, really tempted to try that out. Otherwise, there's plenty of other similar games that I could play. So yeah. See, it's all this. It's very similar. To me, it's like just a different skin to the same. Game and same game mechanics. So, and I know you've got another one on your radar from that same studio, Jirok. So,
I'll talk about that one here real quick in a second. But yeah, that the Dynasty series of games, I really liked Medieval Dynasty. It's a much more casual gaming experience. It's not like, build up your stuff to go and fight crazy monsters and bosses and things like that. It's more just trying to survive, and you fight. Maybe you encounter the local wildlife or not, but then you have a wife or a husband or, and then you have children. And I mean, I haven't even visited my child yet.
You have to come and play with us again.
Actually go to the village. There's been a roadmap for the 2024. And there's going to be a combat update for Medieval Dynasty, so they will upgrade that side of the game. They
give more things to fight, right? Like if you're going to have dynamic combat, add a few more things that you can combat.
The combat is really basic. It's not bad. It's basic. It's meant to be just for hand and a few bandits, nothing more.
Mm-hmm.
So the gaming moments that really stood out for me in 2023 are obviously when I launched season 4 earlier in the year and then season 5 at the end of the year. I just love to see the players from our community be reinvigorated and come back and play together, right? Like I just love dropping in on the channel, saying hi to everybody because, everybody's off doing their own thing. And like, I love these people. Like they're so friendly and, because of life and distance and stuff, we don't always get to communicate and stay up to date with each other. But like opening a new seasonal server, they brings them back. And so does like when Valheim puts out a new biome or a major update and we update the servers, it brings people back. So I love when there's an update like that. The same thing with the podcast, like us doing the podcast, I get to chat with you guys and get caught up on what's going on. So, it's like in life too. If you have a common interest with somebody, even if you live locally within an hour or so of each other, you may not get together if you don't have a reason to get together, right? Like you got to do. It's one of the reasons why I host a monthly poker game, not because I want to take my friend's money. That's just bragging rights. Maybe $100 or so you spend, if even that much. But it's so that we can get together every month. Because otherwise I might not see these people for a year or two because there's not, life is busy. And, so that's what I loved really about, my gaming moments were that, but there is one gaming moment that stood out for me in particular. That's not a great gaming moment. And it was Starfield's release. It was such a huge disappointment for me. And not only in just the game itself, I thought was hugely disappointing, not what I was looking for, but it's also the fact that, I was so excited about it, that I bought the premium edition that came with the special watch, and it cost a couple $100 or $200 or $300. I can't remember now. And, I didn't even get to owning that version of the game didn't give me the early access that everybody else got, because I had to wait a whole nother day for the stores to open to give me the box, because I ordered it from a retail store. So I ended up buying a second version of the game so I could download it digitally and play that version. And I got a refund on both. Luckily, I was able to get refunded on both. So
on both?
On both, even the physical version, which they told me. So here's what they told me. It was Best Buy is the store. I brought it in. I said, here, they said, actually, there's no refunds on the collector's editions. They don't do it. It's like just sold as it is. But I said, well, but the watch is most of the package and it's broken. My watch didn't work.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I even showed them, I let the employee at the store play with it, try to get it to work, and it didn't work for him either. So the manager, said, okay, well, the watch doesn't work. The product's defective. So we'll take it back. Not because the game was bad and I didn't like it, but because the included watch didn't work. So luckily I got all my money back for both. And I think a lot of, there's quite a few people that also asked for refunds after playing the game for a few hours, but you can watch the YouTube or read articles. There's lots of controversy about Bethesda. And actually, because of that, I don't think I'll ever try another Bethesda game ever again. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if things change drastically, but I didn't like the way they handled the release of the game and then the feedback after the game and everything. I didn't like it. So I don't know if I'll ever play a Bethesda game. But so that was a big gaming moment for me from last year. And then, of course, one of my favorite moments, like Gwen said, and morning, was the Hunger Games. Like the folks that put that together, they put so much work into it, building cool locations and organizing the event and running it. Thank you to those folks. It was so awesome. And I think they're planning on more events in the future. And I may even try to do an event. I have some ideas. I want to bring the content creators together kind of like they did, because I think it brings a lot of attention back to Valheim, which is what I really want. I want the attention for Valheim to stay strong, because I'm excited for the future updates that they're going to be releasing all the way up until their final 1.0 release, and hopefully new content and things after the 1.0 release. And so my favorite game for 2023 was probably Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, come on. How can you beat that?
There's no question around it.
It's like, that's just one of the most amazing. It is such a different gaming experience from any game I've ever played. Like, I hate just looking down on little characters on the screen, that top-down view. I want to be like in first person or that third person over the shoulder like Valheim is, like, because I'm in the action. As a matter of fact, I did download a mod that let me zoom in and play like over the shoulder, like in Valheim for Baldur's Gate 3. And it's amazing. It makes an already great game even better. But I'm excited to play more of that this year. A couple of other games that I thought were really great from last year was Sunken Land. It's like a post-apocalyptic, the world is flooded like Waterworld. And so you're diving down into the ruins of old buildings and skyscrapers and stuff and looting what you can and trying to survive. Return to Moria was awesome, is still awesome. I still have a regular stream that I do with Tulkas and Cavalier and Kapalik from my server, from my community. We're still doing that. We missed a few weeks in December because of the holidays, but we did do a stream last week. We had to cancel this week because of scheduling conflicts, but we should be back on it next week. Of course, Gwen inviting me to Medieval Dynasty, something I didn't even know existed. Like, and it's a very fun, like, survival, but also sort of the Sims where you you build up a community and you got like a town, and each building has its own purpose, and you have NPCs that run those buildings, and like it feels like a sim in that way combined with a survival game. And I don't know, it's just a lot of fun managing and organizing all that. And of course, even better when you can do it with multiple players, which is what they did this year, releasing their co-op version.
And it's
nice if there was a way to run a server. Yeah, what was that?
It's a chill game to mix around with the Hunger Games full action pack and Return to Moria and stuff.
Yeah, some games are you're super busy intense while you're doing it, and that game's like it's a little more chill, relaxed.
Yeah, I think the sim aspect helps with that because you can delegate a lot of the grinding to NPCs, which is sometimes I know people who play survival games and maybe even Valheim think that there's a bit too much grinding in some games. And so that's what's nice is like you can actually hire villagers and NPCs to do the work for you and then focus your time on exploration or doing quests and things. So yeah, I quite like those aspects because it's really like survival mixed with the sim. And there's also quests and a bit of a storyline that you can follow. So quite a complete game.
It's like a little bit of everything. From games that are questing, games that are sims, and games that are like all survival. And even to resource gathering, right? Like they'll even gather resources so you don't have to go and chop that tree or break that rock yourself, which is kind of fun. Yeah. Then there's a game that came out last year called Forever Skies. It's like a post-apocalyptic game where you have this floating airship and you build that up. It's like your base. And you go around the world. I actually didn't play it, but I want to play it this year at some point. It looks so cool. I don't know. It's not super popular, and I think I might have even mentioned it before. But if I scroll through here, like I see you have this airship and you go around and you land in different places, and then you go and you scavenge things. I mean, just look at that; it looks super cool. And I really meant to play it last year, but didn't get a chance to. So I can't actually say if it's good. But I see a lot of people have said a lot of very positive things about it. So.
It looks a lot like Rough. Just yet it was building and it reminded me to Rough.
Well, Raft is more on a train track, right? Like you just go and you in one direction. This you can go wherever you want. I think you can go where you want. You're not just on a track and you go where it
Raft is the one you need to build your own raft.
The one in the water.
You build a raft, but you're on a track base. I mean, you're in the ocean, but you're on a metaphorical track where your boat just goes forward and that's all it goes. It doesn't really go anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
And there's a game called Something Void that's like that, where you're on a train that goes through this void area, and like Raft, you get off and you build up your train. But this is more of an open world where you go where you want as you build up your airship. But yeah, so it has elements of Raft, like you building up your raft. Here you build up your airship. So I might get to this game. There's so many games to play. I don't know, but it's high on the list. And so for 2024, I am looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to that Japanese Dynasty, Gwen. If you play that, I would definitely check that out.
Well, I really hope that I need to check maybe their dev blogs and stuff to see if they have it on their roadmap to release co-op for the other two games that they support.
It's in early access, so they might do it once it release.
Yeah.
Well, so there's another Dynasty game from that series that I really want to play. Unfortunately, it's only single player right now, but Wild West Dynasty. Yeehaw! And doing the same survival and sim stuff, but in a Wild West. As soon as this goes co-op, I'm going to have to wrangle you up with my lasso, you guys, and pull you into my Wild West Dynasty.
I forgot one game now that we're talking about Dynasty that when we were talking about this one, they're going to release Vampire Dynasty.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to release with co-op, so maybe that's something to look forward.
Yeah, that could be quite cool. Did they give a date or a month for release?
I think it was April, March.
Oh, so soon.
Yeah, first quarter for sure.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they seem to have a lot of games, but I think Medieval Dynasty seems to be the most complete. And like just looking at the gameplay of the one you just showed there, the Wild West one, you can see that it's not finished, right? It looks a bit clunky. It looks not as smooth, like the animations and stuff. So I hope that they do the ones that they have still in early access. I hope that they really like focus on getting them up to the same standard as Medieval Dynasty. Yeah. Because it would be quite cool to be able to switch worlds and to be like, okay, today I feel like being a cowboy in the Wild West, and tomorrow I want to play in, medieval Japan. And to be able to like play the same game essentially, but in different worlds and just switch would be quite cool.
Every other day, you're going to have to switch to one to visit your spouse and make sure your children are doing okay and stuff. There you go. How's my my Japanese family doing? And then how's my Wild West family doing? Then how's my medieval family doing? And then how's my vampire family doing? Are they sucking enough blood on people? I don't know how it's going to be.
It's like The Sims all over again when you have like all those families that you put in houses and you need to, you keep up check in on them. Yeah.
So it's fun and it's casual game setting. So I kind of like that. I like to have a game sometimes where I kind of want to watch YouTube stuff, but then also play a game. And some games are they require too much of your attention. Like Baldur's Gate 3, I would never do anything but play that game. But if there's like a couple of YouTube videos that I want to catch up on, I can watch a video and play, a Dynasty game. And Valheim can be like that if you're like just resource gathering and grinding and stuff like that. It can have that casual element to it too, but not Baldur's Gate 3. You got to pay attention because it's so engaging. But so for 2024, I want to play Wild West Dynasty, which has been out, I think, in early access. And when it first came out, about a year or more ago, its reviews were really bad because it was so unfinished. But I heard they had some updates since that should make it, a little more interesting to play. But Enshrouded again comes out in a week, and I want to play that. Nightingale at some point, and like Morning said, Light No Fire, the Hello Games No Man's Sky developer. I'm really excited if that comes out this year. And then Dune Awakening, I'm interested to try. I need to look into more what that game. I just love the Dune series, but
no Star Wars game on your list?
No, I'm kind of saying the word Star Wars.
You Star Wars out.
I'm kind of spoiled by the Disney-fied Star Wars stuff. I've kind of lost interest. in this new Star Wars content that they're producing, which to me, there's still only 3 Star Wars movies. I'm one of those, you know. And actually, there's not even 3 anymore because you can't get the original Star Wars films despecialized, except like trying to find them somewhere online. But you have to watch the specialized versions where George Lucas went in and changed a bunch of things for the worse in a lot of cases, in my opinion. And
added a bunch of random aliens walking through Mos Eisley for no reason.
Just blocking the shot. Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? I'm trying to look at the characters. And the whole Star Wars thing is a little disappointing, but I've moved on. You know, things like Valheim and other great movies and TV shows have gotten my attention. As a matter of fact, didn't really ever want to promote. I haven't promoted movies and TV shows on our video game podcast much, but there is one TV series that I just finished watching that's absolutely amazing in so many ways. And I have to promote it. It's called Boy Swallows Universe. All the characters are from Australia. This is Ragnar from Vikings, this actor. It's about this boy who lives with a dysfunctional family, and they go through a bunch of chaos. I think the comparison I saw, it was that somebody said it was like Goonies crossed with, some mafia movie. Pick a mafia series, you know. And the actor that plays this little boy and an older version of him later. It's only like it's a limited series, only like 7 or 8 episodes. But it is so good. It's funny. It's heart-wrenching. I mean, it's had my emotions where I'm laughing and where I'm crying. It's just like, it's so good. I just finished it the other night. It just came out on Netflix, and I can't talk it up enough. Like I kind of wish that I had my other movie YouTube channel, like going and, like a well-oiled, machine to where I was putting out, recommendation videos of movies and TV shows, because this would be on it, because it's so good. All the different actors in this. I don't know how much of the video I should play in this, but it's so good. Oh, and the older brother, is so good. But anyways, very good show. If you're looking for a new show to watch, it's like only 7 or 8 episodes, so check it out.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, very good. I'd love to hear what you guys think of it if you have a chance to watch it. All right,
maybe.
What's that?
We should have it for the next Podheim.
Oh yeah,
maybe have like a recommended movies and series section.
Yeah.
We're branching out more and more.
might as well.
Until we get new Valheim content that we can talk about.
Yeah,
exactly.
There was one blog, and we can invent just from Ciner Valheim news.
Uh-huh.
We have the Hunger Games and the dev blog for Valheim through news.
Yeah. Well, I see in the video in your background, it's playing the end of a podcast, I guess, and advertising my merch.
Yeah, and the next one is already up.
Yeah.
So
well, we
are running a lot late.
Yeah, this is one of our longer podcasts. I have it at 2 hours and 20 minutes now. So,
but it's been a month, so
I know we got a lot to catch up on,
and we're doing a year in review, all of 2023 of gaming in review. So
yeah.
The pirate hat.
Oh yeah, that's the Halloween episode, right? Where we dressed up. Where I dressed up as a pirate.
There's me as a witch.
Up as a witch. Check that out if you haven't seen it. And Gwen and Vaste and Morning, who had to leave early. That's it for this week. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having us. And see you on the next Podheim.
Yep, that's it, everyone.
Yeah.
Have fun out there.
Fun.